Hey, how's it going, fellas? How's it going? This is Brian, aka Uncle B, and we are back at it again here at Goodwood University. We're talking about all the things that you need to know, so all your parts work correctly, sir. How's it going? How's it going? Happy Friday to you. Yeah, it's Friday. We're still in here because we have the Goodwood Challenge going on, and this is a time where we get to talk to each other. And yeah, of course, you can hit me up in the comment section. Please go ahead and go into the comment section right now. Let me know your name and where are you representing. And also, of course, if you have any questions about sexual health, erections, erectile dysfunction, all types of things that deal with your body, let me know in the comment section and we will get those questions answered. And today we're going to be talking about the secret ingredient for erections. It's a common secret ingredient, but it's a secret ingredient nonetheless because a lot of guys don't think about it. And we're going to be talking about that. If you could go ahead and hit that like button, the subscribe button, and notification bell so we can get some more of this information to you. Looks like we have a lot of people in the house. Go ahead and hit me up in the comment section. Please let me know where you're representing. And today we're talking about that secret ingredient. This is basically for the guys if you're having erection issues or any type of health issue. If you're missing this piece, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a serious problem. And we're going to break down this extremely simple reason why and how loading up on this one critical ingredient can change your life, and some extra things that I've learned since just doing more research about this. Because if you're trying to be turned on, what this really deals with the season of the year, deals with your stress levels. It deals with a lot of things. Do want to give a quick shout out to Arsene Remy. Want to make sure I'm saying this right. My man, he's been doing his thing, getting better and better all the time. I appreciate him reaching out, and let's get those comments going, get those questions going, hit that like button. So let's go ahead and get into it. Today we're going to be talking about, yes, that secret ingredient, and really I want to give you a quick story. It's like a good 4 years ago now. I've been doing all the things I've been talking about for the past 4 years. We talked about energy, sleep, the exercise, intermittent fasting, and so the things that you need, and it helped me in the process of losing 60 pounds. And improve my testosterone. I was down at like 300 nanograms per deciliter. Now I'm sitting there at around 700, constantly looking to move all the way up to 800 and above. Just to know, the average is between 500 to 800 nanograms per deciliter. You want to get over 800. That's when you're really just healthy. And at that time I was being diagnosed with high blood pressure, and I'm wondering how could this be? How could I have high blood pressure after I did all this stuff, dropped the weight? What's going on? Why do I have high blood pressure? What's going on, Keith? Ha ha ha. Yes, here for the knowledge. Love it. The reason why, low water. Yeah, literally low water. One of the most critical things that you can have. And I want you to be very careful. A lot of guys are like, secret ingredient is water. Oh, that's simple. I just drink more water. It's not that simple. It really isn't just that simple. We're going to break that down. And basically I got one of those fancy scales, and the scale said that my water level was like at 49%. And really it's supposed to be above that, because our bodies are made mostly of water, of course. And if you're losing water, what are you losing? You're losing your ability to have stronger erections, because your body's made of water, so that means your penis is made of water. And if you don't have water flowing through there, you're going to have problems. All right, D, you're my man in a rush. It's like, yeah, there's an answer. I know a lot of times people are like, yeah, just get straight to the answer, but you have to have the background. Otherwise, you're just going to get the answer and just be like, I'm going to bypass it. But this is really important, because if you don't have your that water intake, the proper water intake, then you're going to run into problems. Because like I said, water makes up 60% of our bodies, 85% of our blood, 75% of our brains. That's a lot. That's a lot going on there. And just about 75% of people are chronically dehydrated. So that's you. And there's a reason why. And if you're dehydrated, if you are hydrated, think about this, you're in the top 75% of men. And as you get older, your body does things that requires more water. Your brain needs the fluid. You in order to digest food properly, you need fluid. You need that water in your body, because if you don't have water in there, you're not going to absorb the minerals. So you may be sitting there, why am I eating all this good food? I'm eating the salads, I'm eating all this stuff, but I'm not getting the full benefit. It's because you don't have the water in your system. Dehydration actually slows down your metabolism. Yeah, yeah. For us guys who have to deal with that weight issue, yeah. Just 16 ounces of water can raise your metabolism by 30%. Think about that. Really think about that. Hold on, I'm gonna drink something right quick. Ah, let me get that 30% going there. I mean, that explains for a lot of guys that slow weight loss is because you're dehydrated. It causes your blood vessels to constrict, and obviously that's going to be problematic if you're trying to do just about anything with your body. If you don't have that water going through your system, you're going to have that higher blood pressure. That's the reason why I had high blood pressure while doing all these good things, is because I was dehydrated. I'm explaining some of the reasons why I was dehydrated, and some of them may surprise you. So that's less blood flow to your erections, and if you're trying to move up the sexual performance scale, to get to an 8 or a 9 or a 10, this has to be part of the process. You can't just sit there and say, hey, I'm going to do all the other things and neglect hydration, because chronic dehydration leads to constipation. It leads to bad breath. You have gastric acidity. You don't feel good. It increases your sugar cravings. So my guys out there is like, why do I always feel, that sugar? When you think about it, when you consume salt, it actually pushes blood away from your inside. When you consume sugar, it's pulling it into your middle. And if you have water in the middle, you have less cravings. It's just the way it works. A lot of times people think they're hungry, they're actually just thirsty. You have cramps. Now, if you had a Charlie horse before, all that rubbing and kneading and all this other kind of stuff, nah, it's not going to work. You just have to drink water and wait. It's literally just that. That part of your body ran out of water and it cramped up. It accelerates wear and tear on your knees and your joints. We have chronic fatigue, increased cholesterol, premature aging, acne, and once again, your penis is it's going to get smaller because you don't have enough water. And we're not done yet. It also reduces blood supply to the brain. So you're talking about having memory loss, and also your lack of concentration, reduce problem solving skills. It puts you into a bad mood, and it also makes you dangerous as a driver. I mean, just dealing with things, because hey, you're dehydrated. Your brain isn't at full force. According to an NIH study, people who drink enough water during exercise, have higher testosterone and lower cortisol. And I mean, this is an easy one to think through in terms of, if you are stressed, if you don't have water in your system, your body is just naturally going to be stressed. Your body's going to tell you, hey, what are you doing? You need to get going on here. Hey, what's going on? Little Rock 2517. What's going on with you, sir? Hey, C. Nice to see you again, sir. So let's go ahead and break down dehydration. Dehydration is when your body basically just loses more fluid than you take in. So with the normal water content of your body is reduced, it upsets the balance of minerals in your body. We talk about salts and the sugars, and it affects the way your entire body functions. So water also lubricates the joints, lubricates your eye joints. Yeah, you actually see better when you have more lubrication. Aids in digestion, flushes out waste and toxins, and keeps the skin healthy. All of these things count. Whenever we talk about erections and things like that, remember, we're talking about the entire body. A lot of times people that's the reason why people will advertise those magic wands, the electric wands and the pumps and all this other kind of stuff. Someone asked me the other day about pumps, whether or not you should use penis pumps. And it's like, well, it's not just that you have blood flow issues in your penis, you have blood flow issues throughout your entire body, and water is one of the reasons why. Dehydration is one of the reasons why. So, if you're feeling thirsty and lightheaded, you have a dry mouth, you're tired, all of these are signs of dehydration. And you're passing urine less often. And it shows up in your urine. A couple of things about urine. One, If it's really dark, that's because you don't have enough hydration. And also, if it bubbles up, if you're taking a piss and it's bubbling up like a beer, that's because you have a lot of protein, meat protein in your system. So what causes dehydration is usually caused by not drinking enough water. That makes a lot of sense. But also, it includes the climate. So depending on what time of the year, and it actually goes in two different ways. So during the summer, a lot of times, people are aware that it's hot because you can see yourself sweating. And so you start drinking more water. But then in the wintertime, when it's cooler, you don't think about it as much. You don't get that natural trigger that you're dehydrated. But your body, in order to compensate for the coldness, is actually going to get warmer. And so you're actually burning off more water. So you need to be very careful during the cold times of the year. Older people are more at risk of getting dehydrated. Obviously, children are. And you have to keep those fluids coming. I mean, especially if you're having issues, whether you're having a health issue like diabetes or that other health issue like alcohol. Alcohol will dehydrate you. And the weed will also dehydrate you. So you have to be careful with that. And also, athletes have to be very careful about dehydration. We saw LeBron during a game, championship game. He got dehydrated and cramped up, and it's like, how you gonna cramp up? I mean, you got Gatorade. I know they were pissed at him. So severe dehydration, can cause fits, seizures, and things like that, brain damage, and death. Yeah, yeah. Stay dehydrated. Stay thirsty. Actually, don't stay thirsty, my friend. Um, Dehydration could also that stamina, that strength. You're trying to whether you're trying to run a marathon or you're trying to run a marathon in bed, you're going to run out of that. And of course, as we said before, it's going to increase your level of cortisol and decrease your level of testosterone, which is not the right combination that you want when you're trying to have an erection. You want higher testosterone, lower cortisol. And of course, it's going to increase anxiety. That stress is going to increase anxiety. So you can end up in a situation where you're just sitting there like, I don't understand why. Why can't I get an erection? Yeah, you're thirsty and you're stressed. Not a great combination. And of course, some people like to take it too far. If you're drinking too much water, it's called hyponatremia. Hyponatremia. I believe I'm saying it correctly. That's basically if you're drinking too much water, you're actually going to flush out the electrolytes, those famous electrolytes that Gatorade is always talking about. So you can buy the sugar water. And so, if you have severe dehydration, it can take 1 to 2 weeks for that to clear up. So you have to be very careful with that. Um, and you want to drink water as soon as you wake up. You think about it. If you've been sleeping hopefully you've been sleeping for your full 8 hours. If you've been sleeping for that full 8 hours, you haven't had any water in your system. So basically, you're waking up dehydrated. That's one of the first things I do in the morning. I go and get some water, put my tea on because I'm constantly drinking herbal tea. So I'm getting that water throughout the day. But here's something that you really have to pay attention to is what type of water you're getting. So I did another video, this was a long time ago, but basically breaking down the different types of waters. They're actually different types. So we all know about the Aquafina from Coca-Cola, which is basically recycled tap water. Then you have the springs. There's an actual qualification in order for you to say that you have spring water, as in it has to come from a spring. So and you have to be careful with the name. So you got like Deer Park. Somebody said deer piss, like you're pissing into the deer's pissing into your water. You got Bear Park. You have the glacier. You have those type that are actually coming from the ground. I will tell you this: I went on a canoeing trip, not a canoeing trip, a river rafting trip. And this was up in Maryland, and they had a guide and everything like that. Really nice trip, and he took us up into this mountainous part. And so we're up there, and there's a waterfall. And it's like, oh wow. And he said, go under the waterfall and just open your mouth. And did that. That was the best tasting water I've ever had in my life. I still remember it to this day. I don't think I've ever had any water to that level. I mean, because it was, the water was free. It was coming off getting the actual minerals from the way that the water was falling down. It was clean, fresh water. from the Himalayas. There's no Himalayas in Maryland, but still, I felt like a player from the Himalayas with that water. Very refreshing. Also, the other thing to think about is you need to get the vast majority of your water from the food that you're eating. So you're eating fruits and vegetables. That's that water. As I said before, when you go into the grocery store, there's one aisle that's for you. That's the food and that's the fruit and vegetable aisle. If you could start getting over there into the processed foods, you're basically putting dry food into a wet bag. And that's going to dehydrate you. That's one of the reasons why you have guys who will sit there and they say, okay, I'm drinking a lot of water consistently, but if you're drinking the wrong type of water, you're actually flushing out the minerals. You should be flushing out toxins, but you're flushing out minerals. Also, the way you drink water, and this is the one. This is the one to really pay attention to. The way you drink water. If you're gulping water, that's when you're taking too much water into your system. We talk about the pH balance of your system, and you're throwing your pH balance off by just guzzling the water. What you should do is drink the water and swish it around your mouth, and then sip. I mean, you think about it. If humans did not have cups, we didn't have our handy dandy cups, what would we be doing? We'd be taking the water and putting it to our mouth and just taking it in like that. That's more or less what we're designed to do. Just sitting there and just chugging water doesn't have the positive effect that a lot of people think. Uh-huh. So, and really what it comes down to, it is your body. So what I say is go ahead and check out the those different new scales. You can go to Amazon, pick up the scales. I got a withing scale, and it'll let you know how much water you have in your body. And so you can start paying attention to what you're doing. After I could see what was going on, then I can start telling like, oh, okay, I see I woke up at 52, 53, 54. You can start figuring out what is going on. So let me go ahead and answer David here. Said, what is this about? What's going on, man? Yeah, today we're talking about water, the secret ingredient for erections. That is really important. Just to sum up everything that I was saying, basically, if you're walking around dehydrated, like 75% of the population is, then you're going to have more stress. You're going to have more issues with your body. You're not going to have enough blood flow to your erections. You're going to increase your testosterone. You're going to increase your cortisol, decrease your testosterone. You're going to increase the level of stress overall that you're feeling. You have less water for your brain. It's a long litany of things that can go wrong if you do not have water all up in your life. And also, the important things about water is that you want to get as close to nature as possible. So you want to have spring water, not just regular water. You want to have spring water. And especially with the tap water, I have zero water. It's a filter that basically it takes out all the stuff. Basically a lot of times the filters that we have really just are made to the Brita and things like that. I'm not endorsing anybody any which way. I'm just saying a lot of times Brita will take out stuff that'll just make the water taste better. It's not necessarily about getting rid of the bad stuff because there's a lot of fluoride in the water. And fluoride isn't necessarily healthy for you. It's just something that they decided to put into the water. And it's like, hey, yeah, this will work. Our ancestors did not have fluoride in the water, and it's not like we walk around and see like all the skulls devoid of teeth. So this whole thing of like this it's not necessary. There's other ways to take care of your teeth without dulling your brain, which fluoride does do. So hope that answers your question, David. Hey, once again, this is Brian, aka Uncle B. You are here at Goodwood University Radio, where we talk about your wood being good and all the things that you need to do. Please go ahead, hit the like and subscribe button down below. Also, we do have a bunch of things going on. We have the challenge going on, so I believe that we have that in the description down there, so you can check that out. We also have some discounts for you. We do have, if you go to givegoodwood.com, we have a discount off of Goodwood, which is an all natural liquid aphrodisiac. We also have Goodwood Advanced, which is typically for the older guys who are losing testosterone and is changing into going through aromatase and changing into estrogen. If you have Goodwood Advanced, it's going to stop the stinging nettle in Goodwood Advance is going to stop your testosterone from just changing over into estrogen. So you keep more of it, especially as you get older. All right. As always, I'm here for the comments. Oh, Peter, you always got good questions. Is Himalayan salt good for hydration? Uh, yes. Actually, I add that into at pink Himalayan salt into my zero filter water because I'm filtering out all of the minerals, and that salt will help out greatly. Marvin, what's going on? Yeah, from Midori, I didn't know this about water. Yeah, it's amazing. That's that's one of those things we just sort of take for granted that we have water all around. But one of the things, as I mentioned before, really need to incorporate getting as much fluid as possible from other means. We're talking specifically about fruits, watermelon. Vance got me on the watermelon thing. uh, basically, that's his breakfast. Is that your breakfast? Brunch? Brunch. Yeah. So after 12 noon, he has the watermelon going. I've been doing that routine, and yeah, it makes a difference in your skin and everything else like that, and keeping your water going. So yeah. And I do want to give a quick shout out to Joe Steffel. He was asking about Goodwood Advance and will it work for a 72-year-old? And yes, that is made for a 72-year-old. So yeah, guys, there we go. I didn't want to take up a lot of your time today. I know it is Friday evening, but I wanted to get this good word to you, and I want to make sure I encourage you. A lot of times, especially as we getting older, we sort of accept that this is the way it is. We're supposed to just get older. We're not supposed to function correctly. You can fight this. Unfortunately, I know too many guys. I'm hitting that range where I'm finding more and more of my peers are running into issues, whether it's liver issues, whether it's diabetes, heart issues. All of these things can be fought. This is not an old age thing. This is a pattern thing. Of course, our pattern as humans is to get older. We understand this, but it doesn't have to go in the manner that we're set up for. Especially now, back in the day, there was a lot less things that we had to worry about. The water was actually cleaner. The food was actually more nutritious. We actually went to sleep on time, all of these different things. So I want to make sure that you're focusing in on doing that because it does make a huge difference. Keith asks, is good wood taken every day? Yes. Yes. It is a combination of 8 different herbs. So, typically, when we talk about cycling herbs, if you're doing a single herb, you typically need to cycle that, just on and off. But with good wood, you can take it consistently. And, over a period of time, it can help you with your size. It definitely helps you with your stamina because it helps with your testosterone and your blood flow. So it helps with your stamina. We have some guys who just work out with it. So yeah, very helpful for your entire body. And yeah, what I want to do, my whole goal in all of this is to help as many guys avoid that older situation. I remember visiting my grandmother, which was always interesting, Mama Jessie. Every time you go to Mama Jessie's house, she had something for you. And it wasn't a cupcake, it was some work. She was putting you to work. But she had she did a slip and fall. She broke her hip, and she was, really in her living room. Had to live in a living room because the bedrooms upstairs, and so obviously she couldn't get up and down the steps. But she didn't like that situation, and I was talking to her one day, and she was like, I really want to get up and clean those blinds. And I was like, wow. To think of something just as mundane as cleaning blinds and not being able to do it, that's something that really hit me in terms of like, I don't want to get into that position where just something as simple as that can be problematic. So guys, look for, that's the reason why we have the challenge, so you can look for ways to actually get better. Part of what I'm doing for this challenge is I'm doing 500 air squats a day. Woo! I do it in sets of 50. And take a long break in between. But just getting them in, I can tell the difference in my knees and everything like that. My posture, it just makes a difference. So, but to me, that's the whole game, is to constantly look for ways to get better, because you can. It's just that simple. You can. All right. Any other questions? Because we're coming up on a half an hour. I want to make sure that answer all questions. You got any questions about any level of sexual health? Hit me up. We are going to be back on Monday. Let me see, what do we have for you guys on Monday? We try to get some bangers in here for you. Let's see what's our content schedule looking like. Monday is going to be the 11th. Food injuries. Are food injuries messing up your erections? Food injuries. Did you know about food injuries? If you didn't know about water, you may not know about the food injuries. Oh man, I learned about food injuries the hard way. In fact, I looked it up in Wikipedia. We're gonna have to put that in there under my name, because I'm the one that came up with it. Unfortunately, I wish somebody would have told me before about food injuries. I wish somebody would have told me before about water. So just to wrap things up, guys, yeah, I need for you to go ahead and get some water right now. And by the way, like I said before, alcohol will actually dehydrate you. So make sure you're getting the water regardless of whatever else you're drinking. And just your uncle talking to you, play your pimpins mode. If you ever go out drinking, what you want to do is get that water after you had that drink before you go to sleep. I don't want you to wet the bed, but still, I want to make sure that you get that water in, so you don't wake up with that headache, that hangover. You shouldn't be drinking to begin with, but you're grown, man. I'm an uncle to some, brother to some, and nephew to some. So I'm not telling other uncles what to do. I'm just saying, bro. Peter, of course, coming with the great questions. What fruits and vegetables have the most water in them? It's literally in the name, watermelon. Watermelon, cantaloupes, the peaches, things like that. But yeah, the great thing about those, even the ones who are like apples, have less water in them, but it has all the nutrients in it. It's just a lot more densely packed. So obviously citrus is great for you. So yeah, all across the board, all of them work well. So cool. Great questions. Hey, shout out to Peter, Keith, Marvin, David, Little Rock, C in the house. As always, appreciate you, man. Yeah, we'll see you on Monday. We're going to be talking about our food injuries messing up your erections. Hey, have a wonderful weekend. Focus in on you being healthy, staying safe, all that wonderful stuff. That's what I'm supposed to tell you, as an uncle, as a coach. I'm supposed to tell you all that good stuff. You know what to do. So once again, this is Brian, aka Uncle B, saying get your game up and go hard. Peace out.